We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you home, just follow me. Close your eyes so you see my vision. Unite the souls so there's no division. Look into the future, we see all seasons. Aiming for the top, but what's the reason? Hands to the sky and realize we're free. We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you home, just follow me. Close your eyes so you see my vision. Unite the souls so there's no division. Look into the future, we see all seasons. Aiming for the top, but what's the reason? Hands to the sky and realize we're free. We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you home, just follow me. Close your eyes so you see my vision. Unite the souls so there's no division. Look into the future, we see all seasons. Aiming for the top, but what's the reason? Hands to the sky and realize we're free. We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you home, just follow me. future, we see all seasons, aiming for the top, but what's the reason? Hands to the sky and realize we're free. We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you home, just follow me.
Alrighty, welcome in everybody. Welcome in Jabberbox, Commodore Friday. RB Lopes, hope you're all doing well. Ferox, hope you all are ready for the weekend. And I am pretty excited. Connected Versus is my, I want to say it's my favorite game mode to watch and commentate as it gets chaotic. And it is pretty much a party mode. Of course, everyone can take it as seriously as they want to with rating attached to it. But yeah, we're in for some fun tonight. We have 3 groups, some larger than others, so some players may need to take turns, but I'm sure we'll have some stragglers stopping by and or people going AFK that signed up. So yes, we're about to get started for that. The room code should be in the Discord. Let me repost that. If you are in group 1, get ready to play. I'll tag group 1 right now, actually. All right, so you should have been tagged in the Discord. If you're ready to play, hop in the lobby. I think some of the players are already in there, and it'll be a good time. Hope you all are ready for the weekend. I'm Austin from Enhance, and Ferox is once again on the mic with me. Are you there, Ferox?
Hello. No, I'm not here.
Okay. Just in my head or something. I'm going crazy. But Ferox has joined me on the mic. And yeah, I think Connected Versus, there's a lot to talk about because every boss has their own thing. And I honestly, like when you think about it, of all the multiplayer modes, there's probably the most to digest, and there can be a knowledge gap when it comes to knowing how to deal with the certain bosses and stuff like that. Of course, Tetris players with good mechanics and that are good at zone battle, they're going to be good at Connected Versus or any game mode, not just zone battle. But yeah, and it looks like we have 4 players ready to go in here. I don't know who didn't join yet, but we'll get them in our next round here. So if you were not in our first 4, just be ready to hop in next round. And what do we got? So we got Jabberbox on the boss, Pac-Man, Rhythm, and Got Your Sauce kicking things off as our team of 3 on the left here. Shock saying, it's nice to see Ferox as a regular addition to the live broadcast. What do you think about that, Ferox? Do you agree?
Yeah, it's been fun. Was trying to think of a funny joke to add there, but I mean, yeah, it's been chill. It's been fun.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. I think in the future, Ferox might, especially if I'm out, I can't be here every Friday. Ferox might take over and run some community showcases, so it'll be good to, yes.
Holy.
Yeah. All right, so Jabberbox getting some attacks done already, meaning that they'll be poised to get some stronger attacks going into the later rounds here. Looks like Pac-Man might be the lowest of the board here, so we'll have 5 lines cleared. A little bit high, so generally, especially if you're newer or this is what I'm talking about with like the knowledge gap. There's a lot of little quirks and things to be learned with Connected Versus, right? So generally when you go into your first team zone, you want to have your board all the way at the bottom, and that will maximize your zone attack. Or at least one player with like a pure Tetris well to the bottom is ideal. Of course, when you're getting attacked by the boss, that's easier said than done. And generally, I think a good boss isn't going to let you be able to have a Tetris well to the bottom of the board. But yeah, for every line that is cleared already going into the team zone, that will dampen your team attack a little bit. So it's always good to have one player that's kind of like a survivor pro or whatever you want to call it that can stay low to the board. Still a decent first attack there. Yeah, I'm going to send... I always think of like 1/3 plus is a good threshold of the boss's board. If you're on the team, you want to see... sending at least like 7 or so lines of garbage, right, is ideal.
Yeah, definitely. You'll see it a lot more in the later groups once you start seeing players with higher SR, but you're starting to see a lot more differences in the way that they stack and the way that they build up for their zone, and then the same thing for the boss when they're trying to play defensively or if they're trying to go all out on an attack. Right now, Jabberbox is focusing a lot more on defense, but you can start to see that like now that they're in a better spot, it's time to send some attack, especially with Area 1.
Mm-hmm.
If you are able to go for Tetrises and T-spins, it charges really fast, which gives less time for the opponents to really do anything, and it can kind of like stun lock them for a bit. But I think Jabberbox right now is just having a little bit of a misdrop situation here. There we go. There's the attack, there's the bump up, there's the pop in. Try to disrupt the flow a little bit, but I think they're going to be playing this more defensively into Phase 3 instead. Or into Zone 3, sorry.
Yeah, at this point, the team's doing an excellent job. So Jabberbox recognizes that and is just like, okay, I'm going to take what I can here defensively and brace for that impact of this next team zone. Which is ideal, because as the boss, you want to at least get a little bit deeper into the game so that you can play more aggressive and try to top out the opponents. You'll have more time to do so.
Yeah.
All right, so that time I think Gaio Sauce, correct me if I'm wrong, had an open well to the bottom, so this can be a pretty strong team zone here. We'll see if they're able to get a bit higher up, say like 16 plus lines, and really send a big attack.
Yeah.
Box with a few misdrops, but cleans it up. Already has some orbs circling the avatar. The orbs will give you an idea of how strong of a defense the boss is cooking up here. Generally, you just want to get Tetrises. There is a bonus for T-spins, but if you're newer, I generally don't recommend going for it too much, just because I think Tetrises are buffed a little bit when it comes to connected versus and defense. If that's isn't that right, Ferox?
So if we think of a single sending like one line of attack as the boss, a Tetris sends 6 and a T-spin double sends 4. So you kind of get more value from the Tetrises, but again, T-spins, especially once you're higher up, are still even more valuable because you don't have to worry about other lines, like having more lines on your stack.
And that's a T-spin
right now,
right? So that still means it's more efficient per line for T-spin, but with one piece preview as well, it could be a little trickier. That's why I generally advise for not to do it. And like you mentioned, the pro move is to go for T-spins a little bit higher up on the board because you negate that soft drop speed, given the Tetris is buffed a little bit, right? So if you're low on the board, you kind of want to go for Tetrises.
Right now, Jabberbox might be looking for... Okay, they ended up going for the double there. One other thing to note about Connected Versus is that the lines, and this is also for Connected, but like when you're the boss and you try to clear stuff for the meter, the amount that you fill doesn't really like expand. So like if I was to like, if I only need to send like a single and I end up doing a Tetris, I'm wasting 3 lines of material there. Which is something to always take into like consideration. That's when you start to see more of the top players be like, okay, maybe I'm gonna break my back-to-back here because the single is just enough to fill meter,
right?
Or I'm gonna go ahead and use that Tetris for defense and then swap back into attack, clear a single, and then worry about the rest of the game from there on out. And it's just those small adjustments so where that can like help you out a lot. And right now I think Jabberbox ended up spending a little bit too much time on defense, so we're about to see potentially a strong zone. We'll see how high the players stack.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sometimes sometimes the best defense in connected versus is offense, as the saying is in sports.
Yeah.
Just because your attacks will hinder them from getting more zone charge, right? Because, for example, in Area 1, you have the soft drop. Naturally, the players are going to be moving a little bit slower during a soft drop. Things like Rain or in Pisces, pop in, pop out is going to slow the ability of the team to score Tetrises, and you're going to have to downstack a little bit more, right? So you kind of want to have a blend of attacking and defending. If you're looking to purely defend, you have to mix an offense. It's probably a better way to word it.
Yep. And then that goes into the whole idea of like whether or not there are certain bosses that are good for offensive play styles or better for defensive play styles. Pisces does really well with offense due to how fast that meter charges. And it still has the added benefit of soft drop can still give you a little bit of time to defend. But it looks like the team did end up finding enough meter or enough attack there to be able to take out Jabberbox.
Yeah, this team was doing an excellent job considering. I feel like, so we have a lot of repeat players, players like Pac-Man who are still fairly new to our community showcases that seem like they're improving, at least in my opinion, in terms of speed and stuff like that. So that's cool to see. So Jabberbox had the competition cut out for him there. But yeah, if players want to rotate, who else was in that group? Let's see if they're around. Yeah, we'll take some turns here. Try to make sure everyone has a chance to play. I'm in the wrong thread. Oh, there we go. Ooh, looks like Toad wants.
That'll be, yeah. Which I think we just put into group 3.
So Rhythm, got your sauce. Magic of Sereth, if you are around, you can definitely hop in here. Not sure if they are. Let us know here in Twitch or Discord. While we're waiting here, anybody playing any new games? I know I never played Elden Ring, but I am interested in the co-op because my core gaming group is 3 players, so we're looking into playing that. I think I saw I was getting some mixed reviews, but generally it's because people are like, well, if you don't have a group of 3, it can be frustrating, right? But fortunately, I have a group of 3. I'll probably get Elden Ring alongside it because I never did play it, so I'll have a single player fix simultaneously. DG says got you sauce. Yeah, not sure who's gonna hop in for game 2 with this group here. Practice makes perfect. Exactly, Pac-Man. I feel like I have seen your improvement. Would you agree with my assessment? Yeah, so Magic of Sereth and or Pac-Man if you all want to hop in for another game. We're waiting for you. Been practicing combos a lot. Combos is fun practice, especially with the effect mode. That might be one of my favorite effect modes. Good dash training as well. Yeah, that's a good point. And you can start out with like 2, 3 wide, whatever you find easier. Generally, I think combos as a concept is really easy to understand, right? So if you are like newer to the game and want to pick up a different playstyle, combos can be a lot of fun.
My favorite effect is all clears.
Interesting.
I have personal beef with all clears right now.
What? All clears is actually a good tutorial mode to teach you something.
No, it's a really good tutorial. It's just I was grinding for a PB and it took so long that I just burnt out from it. So that's where I have my own personal gripe. But it's a really good mode to help you understand both visualizing how pieces can be placed together to do other things. So in this case, to clear multiple rows in a perfect clear and all clear. Helps you learn some of the actual rotations and some of the kicks for certain pieces, especially the ones for T pieces. or actually for S and Z, because I know there's a lot of boards that use some pick for those, and it's really tricky to get used to them.
Oh, so Pac-Man's in here, Rhythm's in here. What is Carbuncle's rating again? Let's see. Oh, group 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Who left? Somebody left from this group. Is Rhythm still around? Or Got Your Sauce? Let's see.
Both Got Your Sauce and Rhythm, yeah.
So we'll still need
Your best is 127, nice.
What we could do is Carbuncle if you want to play boss, maybe with like a nerf or something. Nerf can be kind of extreme, but because I think they are a bit higher. Yeah. I don't know if you want to. We could try no nerf first, and if it's too much, we can turn on nerf or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with this. Also, picking Gemini is also an option. Although Gemini, I guess the strength may vary depending on skill level, because if you don't know how to handle those twin pieces, it can be brutal. All right, so we're gonna rock with Virgo as a choice here. So the signature of Virgo is no rotation. Will be a blitz that the team will come across. Sometimes you have to sit and watch, but there can be some placements you can make for a little bit, or very mild counterplay, but not really.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of depth once you start to notice some of the patterns with the rotations. Because, like, again, the game tries to like progressively get more difficult, but that also means that it's also going to start progressively either rotating or not rotating your pieces. Some of them work really well flat, some of them work really well rotated, and it always tries to like choose one or the other. So if you can get used to that, that can be really helpful.
Yeah, I think earlier on it's a little easier to manage. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah. You're starting to see how like the rotations here were kind of a lot more vertical. Which generally can help out a lot, especially because whenever you're trying to downstack, you're just trying to clear one or two rows of garbage at a time. And if you can get the eyepiece to be rotated vertically, you have potential for Tetrises. But you can also play flat and try to skim lines, because you're going to be hit with a spin at some point. So you shouldn't really worry too much about trying to keep as clean of a stack, but more so try to clean up the stack through your down stacking. Which is kind of tricky to like be able to like explain. Area 3 has a lot of the boss's blitz working against them.
Alright, well our team is trying to move quickly here. They have a few holes, but you never worry about that because that purple magic Mino, you can, as we see here, make quick work of anything. So really, you can focus on speed and then clean it up later if you want with the magic Minos.
Looks like we're going to be ending up right around 14 lines.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like the team, sometimes you want to start that zone a little higher, but they still got a fairly standard attack. But if I was Carbuncle, I wouldn't be too worried about it.
Yeah, especially because these first blitzes are going to be a little bit faster, since they're still the first ones that haven't really been sent out. This next blitz should be no spin, and we'll start to see a little bit of the changes, maybe in terms of the pieces. You start to see some of them be 180 rotations, which can also help out, but you start to also see a lot of them be more flat.
Alright, well the team handled it well. It wasn't live for too long there, as Carbuncle was kind of sending a chain attack combo.
Yeah. Which right now, I think no spin is a really good stall blitz. It's really good to like tell the team, hey, chill out on your meter contribution. I need some time to defend. So it's really good to do that. Area 3 does have a lot going against it in terms of how much it takes to fill up meter.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of want to use those defensive attacks sparingly. Well, not sparingly. You want to use the attacks as defensively as possible here. Because if not, you're going to be sent a lot of garbage. It looks like that's going to be a really rough stack there for Carbuncle.
Yeah, was fishing for a T-spin, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Had to cut it right when the TPs showed up, naturally. It'd be a little harder to stack T-spins with that one-piece preview.
Yeah.
But the team, Gaiosauce doing a great job there, has their side pretty much filled up, so they should help fill in Pac-Man and Jabberbox here if they want to get a higher zone this time around.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bittersweet thing because it's nice that you kept your board so low during the attacks that the boss sent you, right? But at the same time, you want to have something going on so that you can hit that zone much more quickly before the boss has time to set up their defense.
Yeah. One other thing, we all saw that Tetris color clear there, Carbuncle. We love to see it. Unfortunately, it doesn't send any extra garbage, or any extra attack. But I mean, cleaning up the board is always pretty cool to do.
It would be interesting if it did, especially on the boss where it's like unclearable garbage. It almost makes sense.
It would, but then you open
might
up the
be-
possibility of your TD openers just doing too much damage. 'Cause
Exactly.
They're just gonna
That was
PC
what I would
loop.
be concerned about.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, somebody really competent with PC looping as a boss could be
Yeah.
crazy strong.
Looks like, okay, Carbuncle found a little bit of an attack, but there are a few of those lines that are just not filling up the meter here, and this is when you would want to enter defense. So right now, that last T piece right there that cleared the single didn't do anything for the meter, which when that happens, you either want to wait a second because you do have a cooldown, or you want to go into defense, and that can be used immediately for clearing whatever garbage you still have. But now we're starting to see, I think Carbuncle has ended up playing the whole take the approach of sending an attack fast and another one slow, but like in the opposite direction. You kind of want to take your time after when you sent a no spin blitz, and then you want to kind of like immediately send a blitz afterward once you're done with spin, because right now it's a lot more puts a lot more pressure on the team to try and find something to work with when you have no spin. But here you have a lot more liberty being able to downstack, which can end up being what makes or breaks your chances of winning. But I really like now that the aggression kicks in. Good blitz there to pair up with the no spin.
Yeah, fortunately for Carbuncle, it does manage to get one top out here, given how high they are on the board.
Yeah, and I think we're about to see a second one here. Oh, wait, maybe? Wait, place the other piece first.
Oh,
No!
unfortunate.
Yeah, row 20 is your top out, or not row 20. The center columns are the ones that cause you your top out conditions. So if you're up at that point, try to fill up the left and the right side first.
Oh, no rotation this high up that's when no rotation is scary.
Yeah. And because you have less time to be able to wait, it makes the whole waiting out the attack even more scary.
Gaiosauce is doing this
Because
right,
it's
just
like-
kind of waiting, because our middle player is almost back here. Oh, that placement's going to make that line clear really tough.
Yeah, but Carbuncle's trying to wait for a T piece and isn't getting it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's going to end up costing that. Jabberbox is back, and we now have a death cycle. So as long as Jabberbox doesn't end up playing too greedy here, I think they should be fine, because, yeah, either a bump up or a spin was going to be kicked in, and now we have kind of awkward pieces. A lot of flat pieces that you can't really work with. The good news is you can't get spin again, so you can use this time to downstack.
Oh, that long bar misdrop from Carbuncle.
Oh, that's
no.
gonna, yeah. Unfortunate.
I was appreciating the aggressive play. It was a tough decision. I'm not sure what I would do. You could play aggressive and try to knock out Jabberbox, and if you have a one-player zone, it's not the worst thing anyways, but...
The moment that the moment that you as a boss are being affected by, or not being affected, but like when the team decides to death cycle you, that is a perfect time to enter defense.
Yeah.
Which it would be the same button that you use to enter zone, in case players don't know. But trying to play aggressive, especially on Area 3, is kind of tricky because you just don't have as lenient of like line clear requirements for filling up your blitz, or your blitz meter.
Nice job from our team, though.
Yeah. GG's.
Yeah. Considering some of them are low rated, but connected rating can be not always the most accurate. But yeah, nicely done. So cool. We can hop into Group 2. I can't stay too late tonight. I have some other responsibilities following, so just try to make sure we can get everyone playing before we do any extra matches. So Group 2
is our big group here.
I'll let you go ahead and tag them up. But Nathan, Aiken, Boom Blixer, Garbaggy, Shock, and Carbuncle. If you're good for Carbuncle, you can set this one out, but maybe we can get you in another game after that. And or if somebody goes AFK, which typically happens. Right. Welcome in, Grass Pelt. Nathan. Yeah, good games. Got you, Sauce. Nice clutch there at the top with the no row. That's a stressful situation. Am I going to get a bump up or not? Bump up is like fairly random, right? I say that. You're more prone to get them later on, I think, but they can be attached to any blitz, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going off the cuff here. All right, so we got the one and only Garbaggy in here. We got Blast Blixer. Nathan found their way.
I might have lied and gave him the wrong code.
Oh.
I didn't copy it. I just remember that there was certain characters and I put them in the wrong order. Anyways, again, room code for everyone else in the Twitch chat. This is a very exclusive one. We're back with the numbers. We're back to 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, wow. All right, well, we have a full group here. When you all are ready, I am ready. Good luck, have fun. Shock filling in that final slot for Group 2. All right, let's hop into it.
All right. Oh, I think they might not be able to hear me in the screen that pulls up the Twitch chat or the restream chat.
Oh, really? I will double check.
They might. That's what Grasspot was saying. But yeah, we're back with Area 1. Now with Taurus. We love giant pieces here.
I love playing against Taurus for that reason. It can be. I don't care how strong the boss can be sometimes, but yeah, the counterplay with giant pieces is just too fun. It's probably my favorite to play against.
Okay, that is not something that players... I don't know if Blixer ended up misdropping this or if they planned it ahead, but that is new DT there, going for the T-spin double and then setting up the TST after.
I totally missed it. I was watching the team. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, there are 4 boards happening at the same time. Yeah, we're starting to see the players ended up playing a lot faster here. The team as a whole is just trying to get an even distribution of like Minos around. So a lot of the time, what you'll end up seeing is players just kind of like sticking in their own lane, and then eventually they kind of like pivot over towards one board that kind of needs help. So if you can play it really well, you can have the middle board, the blue player, end up staying lower than the others, which ends up sending a lot of attack here.
Yeah, less travel distance if you have the well in the middle, for example.
Yeah.
If the team's helping you out.
Okay, yeah, we started to see here Blixer ended up going into defense for right after sending that blitz to try and make sure that those line clears get used for something, which is really good. It's just there was no soft drop, so there you kind of really have to go back into attack afterward.
Garbaggy had that giant piece on hold. Dangerous game, but did manage to find a good place to slot it in there.
Yeah, and it looks like the rain was kind of a little bit awkward there for Garbaggy, but really good TZS pieces to fill it in.
Yeah, what's scary with giant pieces is if the rain kicks in before you can place your giant pieces, because of that board being uneven. It can really fill out your board very quick if you have to put giant pieces on top of rain. Yeah, you gotta be careful.
I think Garbaggy here kind of ended up being a little bit of a potential troublesome spot. Still holding on to that giant piece, and the rain did end up kicking in, but it did help out even out the stacking. It looks like they're going to be carrying that into zone, which they could have used here in order to build up more material for the zone, but I think that's one of the spots you can put it in. Really good usage of Magic Minos. Yeah, it really worked well.
Yeah, team doing a great job. Let's see if Blixer can mount the defense necessary, because the team is schmoving along here. Does get some T-spins mixed in.
I think they ended up realizing right now that they're really high up on the board.
Yeah.
So if they try to upstack, that's going to be pretty bad. They're just trying to clear as many lands as possible. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, they need to clear that. They need to clear that. They need to clear it. No.
That could be tough, especially if you play like a lot of Tetris games. Sometimes there could be, it could be unclear where exactly your piece is going to spawn in that situation. But
yeah.
With that being said, that was a really, really nice team play. So, yeah, well done to our team there. If we want to mix it up,
I still stand by that Taurus is the weakest out of the all of the Area 1 bosses. You kind of really have to get that giant plus rain combo going, and sometimes the game just does not give it to you.
We can run this back if you guys want to retry.
Yeah, we can run. This is a pretty quick round. Oh, I think we might be fine. Yeah, we're fine.
Oh, I like how the text got tiny there.
Yeah. We definitely did not see a different background. Totally did not see it change from gold to blue. Okay, really good attack there. There's the first giant, but again, it's really early on, so a lot of players are just... Well, actually, this might be able to throw off a few players. Shock doesn't have a good spot for it, and neither does Garbaggy. And now here, you can always just drop it down, yeah, just like what Garbaggy did there, and same thing with Shock. I think Nathan was able to use that giant piece before, and we're into the zone.
Alright. So no bonuses for Tetris.
I like that idea.
So,
yeah.
Just a style points.
Okay, Blitzer ended up dropping an eyepiece in column 2 here, and I think they might be greeting for a T-spin. That's a rough misdrop. This might be an early round if they can't find the way out.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Yeah, you gotta use the eyepieces right now. Yeah, good choice to go down stack with the J pieces.
Okay,
even if you take doubles or triples, we're okay. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, you have to go for those Tetrises at that point, especially when they're at 18. It makes it really tricky because if you clear a line, like right before or right after the zone ends, it may or may not count for your total attack. It may just end up being wasted, which is really unfortunate sometimes because that could end up clearing a few more rows of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But it also leads to a few funny glitches sometimes, the visual ones.
Yeah, I guess not clearing the Tetrises right away does give you, when you do hop into offense, you'll have a bunch of Tetrises ready to go for a big attack.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's yeah, but that's still 4 extra rows that
right.
could end up topping you out.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll have a weaker defense as a result.
Yeah.
Which isn't always the worst thing if you're trying to play super aggressive.
Yeah. The team might be able to get into defense here before.
Oh man, that was
yeah.
fast.
Yeah, Blixer was just in defense for too long there. Remember, Area 1 is a very attack-heavy area.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as as quick as it takes the boss to send attack, it also takes less for the team to be able to fill their meter.
Yep. Yeah, so if there's any area where you want to skip on defending, definitely Area 1. And you
Area 1, potentially Area 2.
Yeah.
Definitely not Area 3 and Area 4.
Generally, and I mean by design, you're going to want to mix it up, send attacks and defend. There's going to be certain blitzes where it makes sense to defend during, whether it's a mix of soft drop and maybe just after rain. Or
I can teach an entire college seminar on how each boss can play defensively or offensively. And I'm sure that there are other players who are definitely focused on playing boss that would know even more than I do.
TED Talk.
All right, I'm booking right now the appointment. I'm booking it right now, seeing if they allow it. But yeah, Blitzer really needs to get a soft drop here. Maybe a rain giant to be able to go into defense and downstack a bit. That's a bump up in a giant, so it's going to be maybe not as awkward, but definitely going to be awkward here with Shock's really staircase-heavy board on the right side. Yeah, Nathan found a cleaner way to be able to fix it. Garbaggy ended up wanting to go for the eyepieces there, and I think they might be fine, but that was definitely scary.
Blast Blixer not in the worst situation. The team is really close to charging here. Ideally, Blast Blixer can get another attack in quickly. There we go.
Yeah. It's just... This is going to be awkward here. Garbaggy should be okay. Yeah. They don't even have to stalk here. They could, just end up clearing a few lines just to downstack a bit. And this is going to be really rough for Blixer.
Yeah, looking like a top out, but I always recommend just play it out because you never know how bad that team is going to choke, no matter how good they are. It does happen. But best top out there.
Yeah, ended up misdropping 2 pieces. Unfortunate, but GG's.
Yeah, good game. All right, so who else is in Group 2?
You have a few other players.
We can mix in Nathan and, or not Nathan, Aiken and Carbuncle. Can play some extra games.
Yeah.
All right. And while we're waiting for that swap, I was mentioning earlier, what new games are you all playing? You should check out the Cerebral Puzzle Showcase on Steam if you're looking for a new Steam game or Steam Deck game. So our game Humanity has been part of that showcase for the last few years. Well, if you're into the games, kind of like, say, Blueprints, Outer Wilds, there's a bunch of indie puzzle games, whether you're into like Sokoban games or Humanity itself. If you haven't played Humanity, of course, got to get that plug in there. But yeah, so we're part of that showcase right now. Definitely check it out. Every year I get some games from that showcase because there's some like $2.50 games that go so far in terms of depth and stuff. A lot of good indie games in there. I definitely recommend checking out. I already bought a few. Yeah, so it's ran by Draknar and Friends. They do games like Steven's Sausage Roll, a game I recently tried to 100%. It's super hard to 100%, but a Monsters Expedition, just like a Sokoban style game. But yeah, if I were to recommend some new games that aren't Elden Ring or whatever is big right now, that is a good place to look. It's a good balance. It's nice to have a nice puzzle game to chill out to next to your big AAA game, whatever that may be. So TGM4 do not work for Eureka, but I don't think they're part of that sale. I don't know if that game's gone on sale yet.
I don't think so.
Okay, so we have Shock in here. Not sure who Loverboy is. And then we have Nathan.
Loverboy is Atkins.
Okay.
On PlayStation.
Who's our last player? Oh, Carbuncle, if you wanted to hop in for another. I don't see him as a spectator anymore, so we could do Garbaggy or Blast Blixer for now. Oh, okay, Carbuncle's in here. Perfect. Yeah, when you all are ready, I'm ready. Good luck, have fun. We have a full lobby. This is an 8-player game, Ferox.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
We have 8 players?
8-player Tetris. 4 people that can make emotes and 4 people that are dropping blocks. Or Tetraminos, excuse me.
I think the players can also make emotes.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have 4 players who are exclusively using emotes right now.
Excellent. Leave my OBS scene up instead of emoting.
Oh.
There we go. Get my camera out of there.
We had a little bit of a Shen jump scare there. But yeah, Aquarius, an interesting defensive boss here. So we went through Area 1, which was pretty focused on aggression and playing fast, and not playing fast, but sending more attacks and defend. We're going to see a little bit of the opposite here. Area 4, a lot of their blitzes are really good to slow down the team. 2v6 when? Yes, we will definitely have a 2v6 showing up at insert specific time period here. This time period may or may not exist, and I might be referencing like maybe the 1970s, so good luck.
Yes, in the 1970s there was a Tetris Effect 2v6 mode.
Yeah, it came out in Tetris Effect 0. As well, no, that means that Tetris Effect Connected would be Tetris Effect 2. I don't know if the joke works here. Hold up.
So Aiken a little high up here, kind of like the same scenario Blast Blixer was in. We'll see if they can bring it down before this zone kicks in. And nice down stack. Very nice down stack. Good first punch from the team there.
Yep. And now Atkins going to be looking to try and fill up this meter real quick. Almost there, just needs a single. double works there as well, but ends up burning a few of those lines there. That is okay. We're seeing the play area 4 as more aggressive, and we can see how that might end up starting to be a little bit tricky to deal with because the team ends up getting more time to just fill up their meter with a blitz that they may or may not be affected as much. Whereas once you're in squeeze, it gets a lot trickier to fill meter.
Yeah, squeeze can be deceptive because you're stacking so high in the middle as well, which is where you really don't want to have a super high stack.
Yeah. But it looks like the squeeze is going to be a little bit weaker. That's why it ends up taking a lot less time to fill up. Or sorry, the other way. The squeeze blitz itself is a little bit stronger, but this no next paired up with like a small blitz ends up taking less time. And I think it might be throwing off Akin when trying to time their blitzes, because even a Tetris ended up filling up the meter.
So we'll see. The team zone was dampened slightly due to that aggression from. So it's Akin versus Akin, right?
One of the two.
Yeah, to confirm.
I don't think I've ever asked.
But yeah, so I think this defense seems okay. That was a pretty quick team zone. Oh man, that placement though. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna have to have some serious luck with your pieces for one to clear that top skim, but we can run that back if you would like. That was a shorter round. Big Chungus, welcome in. For Marathon. All right.
I don't know the best from Marathon.
So we can maybe get one or two more games depending on the length here for this group before we hop into group 3.
Have you had rum in the...
So rum is carbuncle.
Okay, carbuncle, gotcha. Yeah, so we can just have one more game here from any other players who wants to step in.
Maybe Blast Blixer can hop in, as they set out last round.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they want to run a different boss here if they want to play as boss.
Oh, I see.
They're cooking up right now a new quote-unquote lord as their boss.
So Libra, feeling some Libra here. Let's see. Yeah, feel free to hop in Blast Blixer.
We have leaked it. Shaking my head. Definitely wasn't posted on Discord.
Oh, sorry. I ruined the surprise. I wonder what boss will be chosen here. Oh, we have Nathan on boss. Okay. Welcome in, Hello Cat. Garbaggy will be on spectator duty with me. Feel free to emote. You can sway the game depending on how players interact with said emote. All right. Welcome in, Fishy ThinkPad. Watching the speed at which everyone plays is kind of intimidating as a new player. Do not fret. First off, this is open to players of all skill levels. We are usually throughout the showcase we kind of level up here because we pair players based on their skill levels. But yeah, like I would say this is what's the percentage? Maybe top 5% of players altogether right now.
I have no clue.
It is kind of hard to say
because
a lot of players don't even play multiplayer. So generally, I would say even just top 1% of skill you're watching right now. So don't feel too bad.
This might not be the best example. Nathan ends up misrepping a lot. Are they having controller issues? It's a lot of
It is a lot of
hard
misdrops.
drops.
We'll see.
Yeah, a
See
lot
if
of
we
them
can
just coming
speed
from
up.
hard drop in 2 pieces. Yeah. This might end up being an early round. Oh, they're fighting the down stack.
I was telling you, I got a brand new keyboard, and like
Yeah.
1 or 2 weeks in, almost all my keys are like double typing, and I think it has to deal with like the keycaps on this, which is unfortunate. But yeah. So if you played me in Zone Battle recently, and I was hard dropping to no end and misdropping, my cope
It was
currently
definitely
is
not
the
skill
keyboard.
issue.
Yes.
Is yeah. I do think there's a setting on Windows. It helps you adjust your like keyboard's auto repeat rate. I don't know how much that's going to affect gaming, but I know it definitely helped out
Yeah.
with typing.
I try not to mess with that kind of stuff, just to keep it vanilla because it's a keyboard issue
Fair.
entirely. But at this rate, it's unfortunate because I like how the way the keyboard feels. It's like an update of my last one I had that lasted like 5 years, right? So it's like the opposite. Ooh, early top out there for Nathan, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We can run that one back.
Unfortunate.
Nathan did almost fix up. Had a really rough start there with the misdrops. Welcome in, Knighting. Kat, have you played a whole lot of Connected Versus? Also, are you going to be at anyone in chat going to CTWC? I'm going to try to pop in for one day. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there the whole time. Oh, you're going to WPL. Very nice.
Oh, nice.
Yes, yes. Anybody that hasn't been to CTWC, even if you're like not super into classic Tetris as your favorite form of Tetris, right? Classic is really easy to digest as a competitive format, for one, and two, it just shows how cool competitive Tetris can be, especially with that community that's had a lot of time to kind of naturally, organically grow and stuff like that. The culmination of it is just so cool, and the intensity of classic at the highest level, when everyone in the same room is like quiet, just watching for someone to make a mistake, is a lot of fun. I got into classic because of I used to be, believe it or not, I used to be a classic hater of Ferox. Like, oh, this isn't as cool as my modern
No way.
variant that I like. But now people think of me as a classic player sometimes.
As a max outer,
Yeah.
I can't believe we have found
But
more.
that community is so like wholesome and
more.
awesome, and it really makes you want to dive in and learn about it.
It would be helpful. I know it was there before in the pre cross-platform updates. We love to see that PC there from Shock, though.
Ooh.
Tetris PC there.
PC with
I
unstable
am
block sounds satisfying.
Yeah. I am definitely, if you do a Tetris PC in this mode, I will gladly, I don't know, be glad, I guess. I love seeing PCs and connected, especially with the One Piece preview. But yeah, this game definitely did have a rank cutoff or like a top X%, but I think it just got too complicated once we were adding in more platforms, and so they kind of scrapped it off. It'd be really cool to have it back,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Forgot. Yeah, very early TEC was kind of a different.
Yeah.
Some different things going
There
on.
are a lot of other,
Yeah.
a lot of differences. Yeah, Nathan ends up getting here enter another zone here. Got no garbage. and it looks like I don't think Shock and Blixer were necessarily as ready, so their boards are relatively low here.
Blixer loves the T-spins, it looks like, as we saw
We love
boss play
T-spins.
as well.
Yeah.
I know Oliver is
On team,
lurking in
they
chat, too.
are... Yeah. Yeah, we see Oliver here. For team, if you're trying to go for a zone, you don't really have to go for T-spins due to the line clear type that you do in zone just not mattering, as long as they aren't from the initial cascade. But if you do them, we love Flare. We love to see the T-spin knowledge showing off. Okay. Decent amount of garbage here being sent to Nathan, but it looks like they're going to be playing... Okay, they're just trying to find a few singles now. It looks like they found it, and now they can enter defense. Carbuncle are in a really awkward spot there, almost got topped off from the bump up. But they do have 4 wide, or a bit of a combo there to be able to down stack. Luckily, no twists.
Nathan definitely with a much stronger showing here in game 2.
Yeah.
Looking to even things up score-wise. Mixing in defense here during unstable, I like it.
Yeah.
Whereas like the team's going to be clearing less lines, moving a little slower, trying to deal with this. It's a good time to defend. Sometimes I like to queue up my attack before hopping into defense, if that makes sense. So that I can like go right into it as soon as it's done, right?
Yeah, you can always just pop out, send the attack, pop immediately back in if you need more defense. It also catches a few players off guard, because sometimes they're just not paying attention to the actual meter itself, they're just seeing if you're in defense or not. So you can catch a lot of players off guard being like, wait, that filled in pretty quick, and it's just because you already had it charged. Makes it even more important for you on the team to know what it is that the boss is doing, and then the boss to also know where each player's at.
For sure.
And also, yeah, Area 2 is a more focused on playing aggressive, but I do think that Cancer is one of the this is the boss where you can play a little bit more defensively, simply because it's really hard to play with those unstable pieces. You kind of have to know how they blow up in order to really utilize them well, and even then, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, Fishy's saying they got back into Modern Tetris because Classic reminded me how good Tetris is at its core. Yeah, when you think about it, like, Tetris Effect, of course, the Journey mode isn't, like, the longest game mode or anything, right? Or, like, the single player. But what keeps you coming back is just how good the game is at its core, simply put. But, and, like, same with, even... It may see Tetris definitely seems super simple at face value, but there's so much hidden depth with things like T-spins, and even in Classic there's hidden depth to how you stack and stuff like that. But same reason, like a game like chess I try to equate to a lot, where it's like, you know, how are people still playing Tetris time in, and how is this like everyone's most played game? Is because it's really an endless, you can never stop improving, which is what makes it so fulfilling.
For how simplistic it can be, there's so much depth to the game.
Yeah. So it's really easy to understand, but hard
really
to
difficult
master.
Yeah. We love. I don't even remember where that's from.
It's from me.
I see. Okay. I can't believe you are John F. Quote. You've been playing a lot of Zone Battle, watching how different the dynamic is in Connected versus fascinating. Yeah, it's a completely different beast. Even just playing Connected is very different from when you're normally playing your like versus or your scoring focused modes like Marathon, because the focus is less on like those actual topics of sending attack or sending or like clearing specific lines to get the most amount of points. It's purely just survival first and foremost. And I think we're about to see Carbuncle here topping out. That was a very unfortunate J misdrop there. But I think these players are able to find down stacks. Blitzer is definitely in a much better board state right now, but Shock, really lucky really lucky spot there with the unstable explosion.
But yeah, Fishy, with how different Connected Versus is, if you haven't played it a whole lot, totally recommend it. Definitely just hop into it and have fun, try all the different stuff, try all the different bosses. It's fun to learn it as you go, and like the element of surprise, right? Or if you haven't just done the base Connected co-op, definitely can do that as well. That's probably
you can always you can always to get used to like what each boss does for each blitz, and then play versus to like test your ability to play against real players. Okay. Stock. Okay, yeah, Shock ends up topping out here, but it looks like Carbuncle does come back just in time here. If they're able to get any T-spins or Tetris, they can definitely help out with the revive process, but I think Nathan ended up just misdropping a lot, so they're just gonna buy a lot. They're just gonna have a lot more time now.
Yeah, it chooses to defend.
I think they saw that one player came back, and they realized that they can't KO everyone. But definitely, if Nathan was able to, using that time when they were down stacking to send a blitz, and then go back to the defense, they would have been in a much better spot.
This is a tough decision. Obviously, the misdrops are the biggest detriment right now. So,
yeah.
So yeah, Nathan trying to fix that up. If Nathan could somehow squeeze a kill here on Blast Blixer, that would make this defense so much easier.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen though.
Yeah, they do end up clearing one extra line there. So right now, I think Nathan's best option is just clean up as much as possible and then try to stack for Tetrises later. Because they do only have, at the end of the day, only 5 rows of garbage that they can't clear up. The rest is all made by the player.
But yeah, my suggestion in these scenarios that Nathan is in, and this comes from firsthand experience, is just like, try not to overthink, especially when you're in this situation like, oh, I got to get down quickly. Kind of keep calm and collected, and generally when you're more focused on how can I get down quickly rather than I need to get down quickly, you'll just naturally play quicker anyways if you're thinking through it and going step by step there.
Oh.
But, all right. That was a good round. Really good round. Yeah, that was an 11-minute round following the, what was it, like 1 minute.
Yeah.
So good showing by Nathan. Definitely some revenge there. Made for a great showing there. Okay, so we'll hop into our final group here.
Yep. GG's to everyone who played in the second group.
Looks like we might have some late showings for some Group 3 additional participants. Nighting, I don't know if Nighting's still around if they're playing, but you're welcome to hop in this group as well.
Nighting is in fact in this group. In fact, they DM'd me saying that the bot did not work.
Ah, okay. No bot for teams, that could be a nightmare. I'm not gonna. Well, maybe Ferox. I don't know if you're working on that, but
I want to. The biggest problem is always going to be the algorithm to figure out how to matchmake players.
And also, that's the first thing. Like, there's a lot of people hopping in and out, like dynamic, kind of like that, where it's just like sometimes it's just easier to go manually.
Yeah, it's extremely dynamic, and I got to figure out how to do that. It's a lot easier to pair players in a 1v1 setting.
1v1's not so bad. But yeah, we're hopping into Group 3 here. And look at that, Group 3 is already ready to go. They're here. We've got Nighting as our first boss. What's the boss gonna be? I guess you don't know. You actually don't see the game screen yet. Any guesses on what Nighting would pick, Ferox?
I think Nighting ended up choosing the elusive 14th secret boss, the horse.
You are correct. So new horse
Let's
unveiled.
go. It's gonna be Aquarius. Okay, I thought it was gonna be Capricorn for a bit.
Bipedal horse with a bird on its shoulder.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we are in the group here. I think Knighting is a 13k player, so they definitely know how to play the boss here. Again, Area 4 is kind of more of a defensive approach. Squeeze is a very defensive styled attack because it slows down the team. So we'll see when Knighting ends up using those attacks and how much it'll slow down the players. But these players are pretty strong as well. Salil and Grasspelt definitely have gotten a lot of high zone clears, especially the elusive 3-player curves that not many people have gotten. Grasspelt is definitely one of those players who has started to master the way you can play certain Minos, combine your pieces with other players to just flatten up the board, and you're kind of seeing that right now, how they're pretty much just stacking really clean into 19, like row 19 here. Salil also gets has been in a few of Grasspelt's runs. If you're ever going to the enhanced server, you'll see a lot of things that Grasspelt posts about getting curves. Salil's been on some of them. I've been on some of them, but this is not about me. And then we also have RB here, who I believe is 11k, so also a really strong player here. I just haven't seen much of their zones.
I'm really digging the game knowledge from Grasspelt and Salil to kind of delay the stack there to force that 20 or curb, which and I feel like that hasn't really been seen in the highest level yet, right? At least in like TECWC, where players try to force curbs, and we see ultimate trisses more often, but
we saw it last year because Grasspelt, Salika, and Champi were a team, and they were the ones who were pushing for a lot of 3-player high zones.
If you can do that consistently,
the issue is that it gets really tricky because you need to do it consistently, but also fast. Because every time that you spend more time thinking about it and trying to plan it out, that is more time for the boss to play defensively. And remember, you go for Tetrises, so you can focus a lot on speed here, and you kind of have to balance it out. So a lot of times you end up seeing players or teams that are just not focusing too much on like trying to go for the 21 or the 20, and they end up just trying to play a really fast 18, a really fast 19.
Yeah,
and it does, and we're kind of seeing it here because we did see a 19 here from Grasspelt, Salil, and RB, but Knighting was able to defend it, and now they have no garbage on the board, and that was simply because they were able to defend really well in zone.
So when you fish for those things, you better hit it, kind of, hit that 20 or 21 for
you kind of need that 21 to get that extra attack, because if not, that is just free defense for the boss.
Really, the scariest teams I play against are probably, like you mentioned, where it's just like, it's over in a second.
And if you aren't ready for that as a boss, it is going to punish you hard. The extreme of that is speedrunning strats, where you end up just going for like 4 or 5 lines immediately and then topping out. You can't really do that against players, but if you ever see how the AI stacks sometimes, they don't really end up clearing that many lines, and then they end up getting like 20 rows of garbage from that. It's all very weak garbage, but you kind of have like the other side of it, where instead of playing slow, you play really fast, and it can kind of catch players off guard. But it gets really tricky to work out because, again, more players realize that and they prepare for it by like clearing maybe like a Tetris or so in defense. Although this is a really fast 17, so we might see the attack here. Yeah, okay, so this ends up being 6 lines of garbage.
That was a good attack and a good defense simultaneously, so sent a pretty standard, I think it was 6 rows. Yeah,
6 rows is pretty good, but we're starting to see definitely the power of this boss here, being able to slow down the players. With high stakes and Squeeze, it gets really tricky because if you don't have an eyepiece in rotation, you can't really play around it. Kind of like how you saw Grasspelt had to wait for that second eyepiece to show up, which meant that if they ended up stacking, they ended up covering one of those wells with a non-eyepiece. But sometimes you might have to take that risk because the more you wait, the more you have to... the more time that it gives for the boss to defend, to like get their attacks ready, and it kind of becomes a bit of a hassle to deal with afterward.
But yeah, like Ferox was mentioning earlier, if you do want to, first off, if you want to join any of these community showcases, this is open to all players. And or if you want to see Grasspelt's Curvatress highlights, head to our Discord at discord.gg/enhance. Yeah, we have a place where you can submit your clips. You can find online matches. You can join these showcases. Pretty much anything in the TEC community will be shown there. Learn more about our community tournament, stuff like that. Ooh, grass pelt at the very top here. I don't think that's enough with that. Oh, okay, it is enough.
No, there was enough. Yeah, there's just enough to be able to skim. It's just.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's-
there's size. They can still survive here for a bit, but I don't think it does. This does let them live, but they just don't have any other pieces here, and I think they're just waiting to stall. Yeah. But there we go. Knighting ends up finding enough defense here to get all the way down to the bottom of the board. And Solil's also at the bottom of their board. So right now I think they're just trying to find as much meter to fill in. You can see how, like, even if squeeze can be kind of brutal sometimes, you can play around it. And I think Solil was trying to find something to help fill in meter as much as possible, because right now, waiting for it's going to be rough. There's the eyepiece, there's the Tetris.
Yeah, even just
RB
like,
just has to stall this out.
even messing up their board just to get that Tetris there, which is the right call, considering the charge here.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be really rough here, just in a one-player zone.
I think they want to get this two-player zone with at least with grass pelt.
Yeah, at least get one extra player here. But Knighting sees that and raises a very brutal blitz sequence here to just try and punish even more.
So getting grass pelt back in this is one. Going to have a super strong zone because at the bottom of the board here. So we're or potential for a stronger zone.
You avoid less cascading issues.
Yeah. Okay. Now we could see a big. I feel like they almost have to get like a 20 or something to be effective against someone like Knighting here.
If you don't get a 21, I ban you from the server. How about that?
Oh. But there we go. Good use of that Magic Amino. Just kind of throwing whatever in that 4 wide they set up, which is smart.
Really good usage of the T there for the left side. I think they might not be able to find it at the very... Oh, wait, maybe. There's a T coming up.
Okay.
Oh!
Pretty quick 19. So standard attack. That's good 19, for 2-player.
Just enough for 6 lines of garbage there. It's always just enough to be able to play for a little bit longer, and now it's a matter of can Knighting punish enough here? Because this does end up being the time where the Boston's are getting stronger before the team gets stronger.
All right. Yeah, Knighting's putting on a master class here, kind of making the most of knowing when to attack, when to defend, and go pedal to the metal here. Really fast with that one-piece preview as well. I think that could be underrated. Playing pretty aggressive. I guess knowing that RB spawned in a little later too means there's an extra window where they can accrue more attacks before that team zone charge, or the team zone charge is going to be delayed.
Yeah. Oh, these high six are trying to become really brutal here for grass pelt. They did end up getting another eyepiece to fix it, but okay, they do find a good down stack.
I wanted to say it, but Knighting hit the Shadow Blade. Do you know what the Shadow Blade is? I don't know if anyone calls it that anymore. It's like a hard drop wiki tech for naming, at least.
I don't think I know it,
Okay.
But I feel like the moment you say what it is, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, that's
it's
what
literally
it's called."
it's like you set up the L or the J upside down, and then tuck the S or Z to set up the T spin double for the overhang.
That's what it's called.
I think it used to be. I don't know what people call it now. There's a name for everything in Tetris lingo.
Yeah. I did not know that was called Shadow. And now that I said it, I think I realized it. Like, wait, I think I know what this is. I think I remember seeing the hard drop wiki.
I'm sure if you Google like Shadow Blade Tetris hard drop, it'll show it. I just remember it because
Really
I thought
nice
it sounded
SPSD
funny
here
that
for
there's a
Knighting.
name for that with the name Shadow Blade.
Yeah. there are a lot of T-spin and general Tetris stacking setups that have names. Some of them you're never gonna know what they mean until you realize like small connections. Play Solil here with a pretty clean stack, but this is gonna start to become a little bit brutal if they can't find a way to clean up the small amount of garbage that's on the bottom of their board. The squeeze here does not help. And you can start to see how like squeeze with no hold can be extremely punishing.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this
Nighting
position
almost had the.
What was Nighting going for?
Nighting was almost able to get a C-spin here. So a T-spin triple into a T-spin double.
Yeah, setting up that.
But you see how they wait here.
Is super effective. It makes sense in Connected if you can manage, I guess, C-spins. Like a 5-4 stack actually makes sense to me for Connected because of how freestyle it is, and it makes sense with the One Piece preview. But yeah, what I was about to say with the team here, I think the team's in a decent position because Solil seems to be really strong at surviving against this boss in particular. So
Solil is a really strong MA5 player as well.
Yeah.
Side note, we saw that Jay's been there Nighting before. We saw it, but we were just in the middle of a different conversation.
So we're already over 75%. That means we'll probably the two players here can revive and maybe get set up for a really nice team zone, which is going to be necessary if we're going to take out Nighting.
The issue is that Nighting has no garbage on their stack, so they're also able to set up something immediately after one of them comes back in.
Yeah.
And I think Grasspell realized that. They were kind of... So, like, the issue is that Grasspell was waiting for Nighting to send a blitz to be able to do more in meter, like, for the meter there. Unfortunately, they missed a PC here, but I think they were waiting for the IPs. Yeah. But Nighting would then end up seeing that and might end up upstacking a bit. I think what Grasspell saw was that Nighting's meter ended up taking a little bit longer to fill in, so they had more time to work with. A lot of this game involves, especially at the higher level, just to think about, okay, when is the best time to do X? When is the best time to attack? When is the best time to defend? Do I want to send this blitz immediately, or do I want to wait out a bit for the team to get back? But we're about to see probably a really strong zone here now. There's less time for the boss to defend, and the zones do get stronger. So we'll see how this goes.
Welcome in, Call Me Star and Andrew. Andrew with a very exclamated hi.
Hello.
Must be very loud. But
hi, Star.
That's how you guys have been hanging out in the Enhanced Voice channel. Always free to do so.
Yeah. I always think I'm somewhat decent, and then I see this. You are currently seeing probably you're seeing the very like 0.1% of players. So like this is where each player can like really show their strengths. Nighting is a really strong both connected and connected versus player. Solil also, even though they don't play ranked. RB is a really strong CVS player as well. They're they're in the 11Ks. I forgot the exact number. And Grasspell is a really strong connected player in general, especially with the higher zones. So a lot of these players do really well. But we do have the community showcases here for everyone. So if you do end up wanting to play and join later, there should be, we didn't pin it, but there is a message now pinned where you can go ahead and join the Discord server and be able to find players who are similar to your skill level. So we had a lot of players in the 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000 range at the start.
Yeah.
Playing, especially for this mode, the Connected Versus. Playing a few games, swapping in and out, having a few other players play as boss, playing as team. And then we had another group play with 7,000 SR. And now we're in the 10K, 9K plus range.
Yeah, they're the best of the
Nighting
best.
Always gets crazy T-spins? Yeah, they do. Nighting has definitely done, I think they've been doing a lot of 20 TSD runs recently, so they've been definitely focusing a bit on efficiency.
And 20 TSD,
20 TSD being...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, being going for 20 T-spins in a sprint run. So you know how you have to clear 40 lines? Well, with T-spins, you can do 20 of those. And a lot of it is focused not on trying to do specific setups, I think they're just trying to focus more on freestyling from a 7-2 or like a 2-7 stack.
Yeah, I love doing 20 TSD as practice. It's just kind of chill for me anyways. I don't like get too dialed in, but it is good practice, and especially if you do go that freestyle route like you mentioned. Or if you want to go for pattern stacking, I mean, it's good to practice pattern stacking always because you want to have that muscle memory for a pattern. That's kind of how it works. TSD
with LSD is always fun.
Nining managing a top hour center player. We did have a much needed strong zone from our team there, so Nining can't easily defend out of it. But looking okay now that one player has topped out. Salil is seemingly impossible to top out here, so this game could go on for a while. Is this our only Group 3 game? We're about to find out.
Yeah, so Lil and I are currently fighting over who can survive longer in Connected and CBS. They are really good at downstacking. If you know the player Reviclia, they were the first player to beat MA5 without dying. They are extremely good at downstacking. I believe they have several records in terms of like playing the game like invis or being able to like clear a certain amount of cheese with the least amount of blocks or lines cleared. They know a lot, and it took me a while just looking at how they play for me to be able to start to do something similar. So Lil is following a similar path where they're really good at downstacking, and they have really good awareness of knowing when and when they shouldn't place down pieces. And we're seeing right now just how strong that can get you, or just how far that can get you. Sorry.
Also, to hint on what Fred was saying earlier about, man, these are good players or whatever it was, I just want a PSA to everyone out there: try your best not to compare yourself to these players, unless you're, of course, trying to really up your game or you have goals or whatever it may be. But
don't force yourself to immediately think that you are not good at this game simply because you see someone better than you.
These players have a lot of practice.
These players have a lot of practice. They have different things that they focus on, and everything takes time. But you can improve at your own pace, and that is perfectly fine to do as well.
One thing I like to equate to is I love to play chess casually. I'm not that good at chess. I'm just going to say it straight up. But point being,
I'm going to be playing a chess match after this.
It's like I'm not going to say I am horrible at chess because Magnus Carlsen's so good, right? It's kind of the same thing. Like, don't compare yourself to the best players. If I don't know, it will take away your joy of whatever it is, the learning experience of Tetris, etc. Are you good at chess, Ferox?
I'm not.
Okay.
I tried playing it as a kid. I like it, but I think I was just focusing more on school. I never really dedicated as much time as what Grandmasters or even like IMs do to be able to get their rank. I also never really played at any official tournaments. It was just all like online.
Yeah, we had clubs.
Just made it a lot more fun for me.
But I ended up. So I grew up in Ohio. It's a sports town vibe, right? That's how I was hooked on. Can't escape the sports, high school sports. Anywho, this game is still going here. Thanks to Salil seems impossible to top out, and simultaneously Nighting is not going to go down easily.
Seems impossible. Yeah, it seems impossible to beat once you have the zone.
So that's when we get into this predicament of who is going to be able to hit the hardest first. Is Nighting going to be able to bring the heat and top out somebody like Salil over time, or is the team going to really get like? I feel like it's more likely at this point, just after seeing Salil, that they hit a massive zone, knowing like Grass Belt and Salil are good at that kind of thing. But
so the issue is the zone, like the team zone, maxes out. I think it's up to the 5th zone. So you can't get any more stronger than that. And the other side is that the boss ends up getting a little bit of an advantage because every time that a player dies, they end up needing to revive. They need more claps to revive. So you see how it's been taking RB and Grass probably even longer to get back in. It's not because they've been missing claps or anything like that. It's just because the requirement for how many times you need to clap ends up being higher. So if the players end up getting stuck in there, it gives even more pressure towards the Lil to survive. And if Knighting can ever get into a good spot where they can just go all out on the attack, then they're perfectly fine.
Looking like Grasspelt's about to revive at a pretty good time here. Ideally, if Grasspelt can get like a little bit going here. Okay, that's fine actually.
I think right now, yeah, then he's just gonna end up focusing on upstacking.
Okay, so Grasspelt has that open well. This has
They just need to
potential
end up
for a
firing
really
a
strong
fast
zone.
zone. Yeah. Oh, that is a really interesting forecast for an STSD there from Knighting. Being able to count to 4, seeing that they get a Tetris before ended up setting up the overhang was pretty cool.
Knighting is also a humanity top dog, one of the few.
Yeah.
For those familiar with our other enhanced game, Humanity. Very different puzzle game from a falling block puzzle game, but Knighting at the top there nonetheless. All right, that's pretty quick. 346 attack. That
346.
is huge.
It's a lot, but it's not enough to immediately kill. So now we're into the actual question of like, is Knighting going to have enough time to defend? Because if they can defend here and get down to a comfortable spot, this is going to be really rough for the team.
You have a good point, especially like somebody like Knighting is going to be super competent at this height anyways, with very effective IRS, and I haven't seen much of any misdrops. Oh my god. Anyways,
Commentators curse.
Yeah, literally the second I say it, I should know better.
Yeah.
But has been playing super consistent, right?
Yeah. I like that little T-spin setup there. Even if it is going to leave awkward residue, the S-spin just helped fix it immediately. Blitz is ready. There's another attack. I think we're getting another... Ooh, it's going to be bump up this time to squeeze. Not really hitting as hard as high stakes in squeeze, but you know, it can still put a little bit of pressure, especially now that RB is really high up on the board.
How long is this match going to last?
I'm
all for a super long match. I do have a commitment in 30 minutes. If we have an hour game, you know, I can wait a little bit on that commitment, but let's see.
Okay, there's 2 top outs here. And Salil yet again
Survivor.
surviving. Yeah.
Slill's very much so clutching out the team here. And
Some would say the MVP.
yeah.
It is a thing in Connected, not in Connected versus having a like MVP show up after each boss. Just doesn't do that in Area 5 either. I think what Knighting could do here is just go all out. I think they might have realized
Is
it.
there a desync here? It looks weird. I think Salil is like stacking within the
Oh yeah, those these things happen.
especially when a game goes on this long.
It really, so I think it's based on when your board ends up seeing the piece B, and then for Salil they ended up like shifting it maybe 1 over before getting the update.
That makes sense.
And so that small difference ends up changing which direction, and maybe even the size of where the barrier is.
It's a little under the most pressure I've seen so far. Not a comfortable position here. And I think Knighting is sniffing that out and playing super aggressive.
Yeah. And now they're forced to wait here, but there's the really brutal high stakes plus no hold. It's kind of similar to like no hold with Twist, where you have too many jagged places on your board and you can't really do anything about it because a lot of the pieces you can't really use your hold piece to like help fix it.
Yeah, but I feel like Yeah, this boss in particular has deceptive blitzes where it's like, even the squeeze blitz, I'm like, that doesn't seem that bad, but it kind of really hampers your stack, puts you in a bad position. And then that no hold seems like, okay, I can deal with no hold, but like you said, when it's coupled with other blitzes,
combined, it can be really tricky. Squeeze my baited thing.
Oh man, it's taking forever to revive now.
Yeah.
This
This bump up might be it.
Oh man.
It is.
What a battle.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a great match.
Really rough there. GG's though. How long was this? 25 minutes.
Ooh, it might be close to a record here on the R stream
56.
at least.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. We had a really long connected versus match with Green Tea as a boss when we did the team enhance thing, but
I thought it was Dormy as a boss. Green Tea on team.
oh, maybe. Well, I think Green Tea's was long too, but not like that long.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But
Green Tea final boss.
that goes to
True.
show, like in connected versus, if you have a really even matchup, which is kind of rare when you think about it, right? It can go on for a very long time, and it depends on the boss. Like if Dormy picks Virgo, yeah, exactly. Like Oliver, Virgo can go on with the no rotation for a very long time. Yeah, nice job, Nighting, keeping that together. I cursed you once with a missed drop, but other than that, it seemed like you had some really clean plays, so that was great. That's an understatement. For 25 minutes to play that solid, that's like, I'm not that good at marathon play. I'll just straight up say it. Like I tend to, my mind wanders off after even like 5 minutes, so very nicely done. But okay, I think let's get Call Me a Star in for one game. I know that was just a 25-minute round, but maybe pick a boss that isn't gonna stall things out too long. And
we could have Star and Kaylee play in this last game.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's because I need to be out of here momentarily, but yeah. Cue the 30-minute game. Let's do it. All right. I did not catch what the... Oh, Libra? Is it Libra action?
It might be Libra. We're about to see some really fast gameplay.
Yeah, I think of
And
Libra
I'm
as
not
an
talking
all-in
about
boss,
the
personally.
speed. Yeah. Scales.
Libra was my go-to for a while. I think it carried me also because people were newer to this game mode and like not knowing how to deal with it kind of thing. But
Lobby, please.
oh, it's loading.
We might have a few issues with the lobby.
We're in the void. This is my favorite part of Tetris Effect because it gives you time to reflect. This was the purpose of the journey of Tetris Effect. Speaking of Tetris Effect, do you ever get the Tetris Effect? Oh, I lied.
Yeah.
I have to remake this lobby.
Yeah. I can't believe we saw Shun's overall SR.
Oh, it's supposed to be a secret.
Yeah.
It's not public. All right, I'm gonna put the new lobby code in Discord. Sometimes it happens if somebody leaves like at an inopportune time with spectators and stuff like that as well. But yeah, we've got one more game here. Looking for Kaylee. GG's again, and greetings from Brazil. Yes, GG's. That was a great 25-minute match. Nice, nice resilience from you and your teammates. And some big zones. That 340 zone. That's when that grass pelt and that 21 knowledge, if that came in right there and you just instantly top out Nighting, that would have been so clutch. All right. Here we go. We're live. Connected Versus. Me and Green Tea are a team, Dr. Jules. Okay. So a little bit of a mess here from Kaylee, but I think it was intentional a little bit just to set up, yeah. Also, these Magic Minos kicking in nice and early, able to fix up any errors that the players come across. Grassbelt setting up high on the right side.
Zone here. I like this idea here, combining the eye pieces to be able to get a skim. Unfortunately, Kelly does end up topping out from it, but both players realize, get 3 more lines and send a nice 17 attack there.
Yeah, still fairly quick.
Yep. That's, 7 lines of garbage? And I think the top one is also pretty solid, so pretty good attack there.
Yeah, generally, I think 7 is usually the sweet spot as a team in a balanced match. You want to hit at least 7.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the boss is going to have a lot of wiggle room to put on aggression.
Yeah. It started a misdropping there, trying to go for a TST, but rotated the overhang in the opposite direction. Well, they're finally out of it, but you can now start to see why Area 2 is a pretty good boss or a pretty good area to use if you're trying to play aggressive. You can just see how fast these blitzes are. Knighting's in a really tough spot, though.
Yeah, and the counterplay here can be tough. One, for this boss in particular, is just like play faster, which is easier said than done. And two, there's some things you can do with these hard blocks to minimize the effect of it. But yeah, super strong boss to play aggressively. And like I was saying earlier, I remember early on I used to pick this boss and just go all in, like on either round 2 or 3, or after the first or second team zone, just because it's so hard to deal with. With that being said, if your boss attacks don't click, you are not in the best position. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. So unfortunately, it's going to be a 2-player zone. Just barely missed that player res.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really rough misdrop there, but nice T-spin conversion. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's a really good. If they did see it, a really good forecast into another T-spin there from Star.
Star was in a bit of a situation there for a moment. I was almost thinking, like, what if the team caught Star there and, like, topped out? But
that is what, if you are able to spot that as a team, that could be really good. But it's also a bit of a gamble, because what if you find what if Star ends up finding a down stack, and it looks like this is going to be really rough for the team now. Knighting is back.
I think that might have been an ulti. I heard the sound effect.
Yeah, it was a 19.
Oh, 19, okay.
So almost there, but yeah, this is when we start to see a little bit of the like the brutal part of playing against Libra.
So
that can mess up a lot.
100%. And I feel like Star here kind of knows the strength of this boss, and I don't think you should even defend here. You kind of want to get the kill.
Yeah. This boss is really aggressive, but it's less because of the areas, like how long it takes for the meter to fill or anything. It's just that the blitzes are very against defense.
Yeah.
You don't have as many good options to defend and hard blocks Arduinos kind of like force you to have to do this.
It's going to be times where you kind of have to defend as a boss if you run into a really strong team zone.
Yeah.
But generally, when you have the option to just keep attacking, like Star, this is after 2 team zones, and Star wasn't high enough to kind of force that defense out. So Star, going all in at that position, especially when your attacks are leveled up for Libra, is just going to be really, really strong. But nice. Yeah. So got a shorter round. Thank you for that one. 5 minutes still. But good games. And I think that will be it for tonight. But happy to get Call Me Star and Kaylee in there for a round. And yeah, we will not be having a showcase next week. It is CTWC weekend, so I think we'll most likely have a Discord hangout instead. I'm not sure if we decide on a Friday or Saturday, but we'll be hanging out in the Discord, kind of watching the CTWC. I feel like most people are going to be watching that rather than our stream anyways, so and we're sponsoring CTWC per usual. Enhance is partnered with them, so be sure to check that out and show up in chat when they sponsor Read Tetris Effect. It's like, oh, I know that game, I love that game. But yeah, GG's everybody. Next week should be Zone, or I'm sorry, I just said we're not having one next week. Whenever we do have another showcase, it's going to be Zone Battle.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now. But tomorrow we have a full moon hangout. Everyone stop by, play some Connected Versus. Anything goes, play Connected. The weekend ritual, we could do some party games, whatever we're in the mood for. But yeah, full moon hangout. I think that's at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. But feel free to stop by earlier, or at some point, Ferox, myself, Commando might leave, and you can always hang out in the Enhanced Discord per usual. But yeah, be sure to stop by for that. That's at discord.gg/enhance, and we'll be hanging out tomorrow. Anything else I wanted to talk about? I don't think so. I think that's it for now. So yeah, thank you everyone that stopped by tonight, and that is it for us. GG's. Hi Liam, showing up nice and late here, but yeah, that was a great 25-minute round from Knighting and Salil, Grasspelt, and RB. That was a good second to final game to end it off. We had a nice palate cleanser 5-minute round, but cool. I will stop yapping here and close down the stream, but thank you all for tuning in. Let's see if there's anyone we can raid on Twitch. I don't know if you were looking yet, Ferox.
I mean, I know this really cool Enhanced experience streaming Tetris Connected.
Let's see. Who do we got? There's almost always a CTWC stream, but they're probably prepping for next week. I don't see one up.
Yeah.
I think we'll go no raid tonight. I do need to hop away anyways, so I can't. I always feel weird if I raid and then just run away. So, yeah, thank you all for participating, and we will see you 2 weeks from now. But stop by tomorrow for the voice hangout and next week for the voice hangout on our Discord. But bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.